Hey everybody, it's Tarkan back with another video, and I've been traveling, guys. I've been, the last couple of weeks have been very busy for me, which is why I haven't been uploading any videos, but I'm back now. I made it to Germany, to my family. We're celebrating the holidays together, so everything is wonderful, and I really hope that all of you are also having a wonderful time and a wonderful holiday season right now, despite everything. Okay. And of course, I'm going to tell you to look at the things that are working in your life right now, even if everything else around you seems to be disintegrating into some kind of chaos. Okay. Remember, and I really want to stress this, everybody, sometimes when things seem to be moving backwards, they're actually moving forwards. Okay. Just because you're perceiving them as moving backwards doesn't mean that things aren't unfolding for you. It may be that those very things that seem so difficult and challenging to you right now are precisely the things that need to take place in order to get you and move you physically to the place that you want, to your desire. Okay. And that's actually what I want to touch upon in this video today, because a while back, a viewer asked me to talk about the bridge of incidents, or the bridge of events, that you hear so much about. Okay, when it comes to manifesting, all right, there's the bridge of events, there's the bridge of incidents. What does it really mean? And I know I've touched upon this in other videos here and there, but perhaps I haven't done a specific video on this. And really, guys, there's not much more. There's nothing very complicated to say about it. It's not complicated, okay? You live in a physical reality, in a physical realm here on Earth, whatever you want to call it, on this bubble, where things just unfold a certain way. I know everybody out there wants to make that quantum leap. I know when people ask me about quantum shifting, what they really want to know is about quantum leaping. They're like, Tarkan, how in the world do I get from here to over there, with no delay? I want no delay in these things. And I want to tell you something. I want you to sit down with a movie that you haven't seen yet. Okay. However you watch your movies, you go on Netflix, or you can go on, rent the movie, whatever it is. I want you to just watch the first opening scene, and then I want you to skip all the way to the end. All right. And then I want you to say to yourself, well, I watched that movie. I know what happened in the beginning, and I know what happened in the end. So I've watched the whole movie. Or open up a book, like a novel, and just read the first chapter and then go read the last chapter. Why do you need anything in between, right? Why not just go straight to the end? Then you know the story, you know how it ends, and boom, there it is. Why don't we do that? Well, maybe some people do that. Some really incredibly impatient people do that. But ask yourself, why don't you just skip from the beginning of the movie to the end of the movie? Why don't you just skip from the beginning of the novel to the end of the novel? Okay. Of course you don't. Why? Because there's a pleasure in watching the unfolding of the story leading up to the end result, to the ending of the story. Okay. The pleasure is in the story, in reading the story or watching the movie. All right. And as you can see, you're going to go, you have a character or a set of characters in the beginning that are going to go through some challenges. That those challenges are going to bring about some kind of desire in those characters, or are going to drive those characters forward into another kind of way of being. It's going to change those characters. Okay. It's going to change their perspective, their outlook on themselves, on the world around them that the author created for them. And then at the end, you see the result of that. Okay. And if it's one of those stories with a happy ending, of course, that's what we're talking about here with manifesting. We want that happy ending. You see all the steps, all the layers, all the things that it took to get there, to the end result, to the desire. And that's really what the bridge of incidents is, guys. It's like, and if you want to just leap to the end, it is kind of the same as just watching the opening scene of a movie and skipping straight to the end and saying, well, I know what happens. They get together in the end, or the doggy saves the little boy, or whatever it is. Whatever the story happens to be. The point is, why would you even waste your time doing that? There's no pleasure in that. All right. When we're focused in the non-physical as energy beings, as eternal beings that we are, that's how things happen. We go right, boom, there it is. Boom, there it is. Okay. It sounds fun. It sounds exciting, but in a way, it kind of gets boring after a while. We come into these physical realities. We focus ourselves into these physical realities, into these identities for the very purpose of creating in this kind of physical environment where there are time delays, where there are bridges of incidents, where there is a sort of a seeming progression of events that unfold to leading from one circumstance to the next circumstance. Okay. And so part of the pleasure of doing this life thing, coming here and playing in this life earth realm, is precisely for that reason. Let me tell you something right now, straight up, okay? And some of you may go, no, Tarkhan BS, that's not how it is, but I'm going to tell you straight up, it is. You want that bridge of incidents. You want that delay. You want the story to unfold. You want the beautiful story, especially if you're out there trying to manifest a specific person or just any kind of person. You want that romance, don't you? You want that beautiful romantic story to unfold. Imagine telling your grandchildren about it someday. That's a beautiful kind of visualization to do, or scene to script. Okay, you're 40 years down the road. You've been with your specific person for all that time. You had children, you had grandchildren, you grew old together, and there you are telling Grandma, Grandpa, how'd you meet each other? Oh, that's quite a story, right? So let me read you a couple of quotes by Neville. Okay. On the bridge of incidents, because Neville Goddard talked about the bridge of incidents. If you tell them, I don't know who them is in this sense, if you tell them it came to pass because you simply imagined it, no, they will point to the series of events that led up to it. And they will give credit to the bridge of incidents across which you walked towards the fulfillment of that state. And they will point out some physical thing that was the cause. No, the cause is invisible, for the cause is God, and God is invisible to mortal eye. So in other words, I think what Neville is saying here is that the bridge of incidents is what's important. It's important for that to unfold, to get you towards your desire. But the ultimate thing for you to do is to simply imagine and focus on the end result. You focus on the ending and you let the universe write the story for you. This is kind of what the bridge of incidents and the bridge of events really comes down to. It's another way of saying let go and let God. It's another way of saying don't worry so much about the process of how you're going to get there, because I know all of you out there going, well, how's it going to happen? How's it going to happen? I can't even imagine how it's going to happen, because all of you are trying to imagine the process of how you're going to get to your desire. This is what's slowing you down. Okay, you want to go to the end result where you're enjoying and feeling the way you're going to feel, that you imagine you're going to feel when you have your desire fulfilled, and you let the universe do its thing. If you're trying to figure out how it's going to happen and you're trying to micromanage every step of the process, you're interfering with the process. You're interfering with the universe's job of putting it together for you. And how can the universe do its job for you if you keep interfering with it? It's kind of like if you run a little company and you hire some people and you're paying them money, but then you end up doing all of their jobs for them because you just can't keep your fingers off it, because you're a control freak and you can't you don't trust them to do their job. If you want something done, you better do it yourself. And they're going, well, you're paying me, I guess, to do nothing, to sit on my butt and watch you do the job that you hired me to do. That's essentially what you're doing when you're telling the universe, hey, I'm waiting for a text message from them. Well, this hasn't happened in a while. Why not? I better do something. I better jump in. I better take some action. And boom, now you've shot yourself in the foot and you've slowed things down. So the bridge of incidents, these are things, this is kind of where the faith trust part comes in. You need to allow these things to unfold. What it really is one circumstance and situation where, say, you are not with a bunch of money that you want. And the other end of it, the end of the story, the end of the movie or the novel, is you're enjoying all these riches and all this wealth. Maybe you've won the lottery. Maybe you've inherited it. Maybe something else happened. But see, your mind is going to keep trying to fill in that gap. It's going to keep trying to think of ways that you're going to get from here to there. Well, it could only happen through the lottery. It could only happen by inheriting something. It could only happen if, some drug dealer throws a bag of money in the bushes and I happen to find it. It can only happen if I come upon some treasure. It can only happen if la da 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 da. And now here's your mind trying to fill in all these gaps because it needs predictability. It needs to understand how things are going to happen. But it doesn't, okay? It feels it needs to understand those things. It doesn't, all right? This is the part where you really need to get out of the damn way, guys. All right? The people you hired, in this case, the universe, you've hired the universe to take care of this for you. You give it an order. You go, hey, get me this thing. Get me that thing. Get me this circumstance. And they go, okay, boss, we're getting to work. And then you keep interfering. You keep trying to micromanage everything. Or you call them every 2 minutes. Hey, is it done yet? Is it ready yet? Why isn't it here yet? And they're going, well, we're trying to do it for you. Just quit bothering us and let us do our job and let us do our work. Just kick back and understand that it's going to come to you and you're going to enjoy it. Just think about how you're going to enjoy it. Think about when you have it. Think about what you're going to do and how you're going to feel when you finally have it. We're working on it for you, boss. Quit calling us. Quit interrupting us. Let us get to work. Now, there's a process to everything in this realm. Okay? The universe is going to orchestrate that process. You may not understand it. You don't need to understand it. Sometimes things will happen in a way that you couldn't possibly imagine it happening. All right? And really, honestly, there's infinite ways for the universe to get you what you want. Infinite ways. The universal mind sees infinite paths towards your desire. Infinite. Your monkey mind sees 3, 4 paths, maybe at best. Okay? And then it focuses on those. And if it doesn't see any of those coming about, it thinks nothing is happening. You think that the only way you're going to get back with your ex or your specific person is if they text you. So you sit around going, well, they haven't texted me, they haven't texted me, they haven't texted me, they haven't texted me. But there's some other way that the universe is working on it for you, some way that you're not privy to, that your physical senses cannot understand or perceive, and you think nothing's happening. Well, the opposite is true. Let it do its work. Let it do its magic. Okay? So, when you say, and then when it happens, you think that it's because of, well, I did that thing, that's why it happened. No, when you have your successful manifestations, because you successfully got out of the way, you got yourself to move out of the way, you focused on the end result, and the universe orchestrated it for you in the perfect way. Think about all your great manifestations in your life up to now, and then look back on how they unfolded. That's the bridge of incidents. That's the process part that you so badly want to control and have be predictable in your life. All right. Which keeps slowing you down, because every time you look at it and go, well, it hasn't happened yet. You're slowing yourself down because now you're still focusing. You keep going back to focusing on how it hasn't happened yet. All right. Let it unfold. Let the bridge of incidents unfold, because I'll tell you something. And this is from Abraham Hicks, and I've used this quote many, many times in my videos, and I like it, so I'll keep doing it. Imagine you're on a train going 80 miles an hour in one direction. Okay. Now, your desire is to be going 80 miles an hour in the opposite direction. So what do? See, your mind in that point goes, well, I just want to, boom, switch directions. Let's just switch directions right now. What do you think is going to happen if the train, in the middle of going 80 miles an hour, just boom, all of a sudden switches directions to the opposite direction, going 80 miles an hour? Well, that's going to be pretty jarring, isn't it? Things are going to fly around the cabin. You're going to be, you're not going to like it. It's going to be very uncomfortable. And I always tell people this, that want to make this quantum leap all the time. I said, the reason you want to make a quantum leap is because you don't trust in the process, and because you're so unhappy with where you are right now that you feel you need to be over there. That's the only place and the only way that you can be happy. And you need to learn to be happy right now, damn it. And you need to let the process unfold. So what's the better way to switch directions on that train? The better way is to slow the train down first, bring it to a stop, then slowly build that momentum in the opposite direction. So if you have a desire that you've been working on a long, long time, because you just can't seem to get yourself to not meddle in it, to not micromanage it, you can't seem to keep your fingers out of the cake. You don't want to go from feeling terrible all of a sudden to trying to feel positive all the time. Okay. It's not going to work, because you feel this need, this urge for the train to go in the other direction. I just need that to happen now. And you got to slow down first, okay? You need to first unfocus from that thing that you've wanted for so long. If you're feeling terrible about it, you got to unfocus from it. You need to slow the train down first. You need to bring it to a stop, a complete halt first. That's 0 point. That's the point where you reach, you go, you know what? I don't care anymore. That's often how it is. I don't care anymore. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I'm just going to shut off my mind. I'm going to meditate more. I'm going to do things I love. I'm going to get into the flow with some activity, maybe some art, maybe some music. I'm just going to shut things off. That's no mind state, okay? 0 mind, because you don't want the mind to interfere. This is not mind work. This is not intellectual work. This is not thinking work. This is feeling work. And you need to unlock from that first. You need to stop and slow down. Take a breath, damn it. Take a walk. Do some meditating. Just stop thinking about that thing for a while. Think about other things that feel better and slow down and get yourself to that 0 neutral point. And then from that point, you can begin to build the momentum in the other direction. Begin to build speed in the opposite direction. Okay? That's how you do it. But you need to learn to unhook, to uncouple, okay? You need to learn to do that. The process is not for you to figure out. I've said this so many times, guys. And I know it's going to take a lot more times of me saying it maybe for it to sink in, or for you to finally just try doing it. All right. And try not to figure it out so much, because the person who asked me this question is obviously thinking about this all the time. Please, Tarkan, can you explain the bridge of incidence? They're constantly trying to use their mind, their intellectual capacity to try to figure out, because they've been taught in this ridiculous society of ours that thinking and problem solving is the only way forward in this life. They convinced us all that that's the way to do things. And of course, why are all of us so unhappy? Why are all of us, coming to channels like this? Because it's not working, is it? Thinking is not working for you. Thinking about it all the time, looking at the problem from every angle, beating the hell out of it is not working for you. So what do you think is going to work? Why don't you try something different? Try letting go. Try letting the universe orchestrate the way in which it's going to happen for you. That is the bridge of incidence. So, Neville says again, here's another quote, just a second quote from Neville. Who knows what you are imagining? No one knows, but you can sit down and imagine. Imagine the end. That's what he means. Sit down and imagine. That's what you can do. Not to try to interfere with the process. You can sit down and imagine. That's your creative power as a creative person in this universe. As a creative being in this universe. And no one can stop you from doing it. No one can stop you from sitting down and imagining the end result. Feeling the end result. But can you give reality to the imagined state? If you do, yes, a bridge of incidence will appear in your world. Can you give reality to the imagined state? In other words, when you imagine the state of it being fulfilled, can you give that reality? Can you imagine it being real? Can you feel as if it's real? Can you let that thing embody the actual thing for you without it being physically real right now? Can you make it feel real and seem real in your imagining of it? That's going to the end result. Yes, you can. And if you do, a bridge of incidence will appear in your world, in your physical reality. And you'll walk across some series of events leading up to the fulfillment of the imaginal state. But don't give causation to any physical step that you took towards the fulfillment of it. In other words, it's your imagining of the end result that causes the process to unfold. That's how the process unfolds, by you simply going to the end. And it trails along. That's what he's saying here. If you can give reality to the imagined state, then yes, a bridge of incidence will appear in your world, and you'll walk across some series of events leading up to the fulfillment of the state. Okay? That's what the bridge of incidence is, guys. It's that middle of the book. Okay? Imagine the original Star Wars trilogy without Empire Strikes Back. Because that's what it is, right? You have your first, second, and third act. That's what those original three movies are. What if you go from, meeting Luke Skywalker all the way to the end of Return of the Jedi? If George Lucas had done that, you think he would have become a billionaire and everybody would have loved Star Wars? No, of course not. This is arguable, but obviously I think Empire is the best movie in the whole damn trilogy because that is the middle act. That is the process unfolding. That's the fun part, isn't it? So, just remember, your only job, guys, is to decide what it is you want and then live in the state of that. Imagine it being real. Imagine being that person who's living that reality. And embody it, okay? Live it. Feel it all the time. And you'll see, if you just try to do that and then let go of trying to interfere with the process so much, you'll see the process unfolding. And even with, and this is very important, even if you don't perceive it unfolding, and just because you don't actually physically perceive it unfolding with any of your unreliable, very highly unreliable physical senses, stop thinking that they're reliable. They're not. Even if you're not able to perceive it with your physical senses, doesn't mean something's not happening. Doesn't mean something's not shifting. Because remember, the first shift that happens, and actually really the only shift that needs to happen, is the one inside yourself, not out there in the physical reality. Okay? That part is going to catch up to your imagined state. The more real you make it, the more consistently and religiously you practice that imagined state, that end result in yourself, the more smooth the process will be, but you'll see it unfolding. You'll look back on it and go, oh, I see how that happened. And you'll realize that your mind could have never, ever conjured that up on its own. That only the universe has these infinite paths to get you what it is that you want. So let's stop trying to interfere. Let's stop trying to overthink this so much. The only thing you should be overthinking or thinking about is how you're going to feel and how you're going to enjoy when you your life when you have the thing that you want. That's it. That's it, guys. Okay? So anyway, that's it for me, guys, for this video. I hope that explained things for you. If you have any more questions, of course, leave them down below in the comments. I always appreciate your comments. Thank you for leaving those. I appreciate watching this video and being subscribed to my channel. If you are here for the first time, you haven't done so already, and you like the cut of my jib, please hit subscribe now. Please hit that notification bell. If you want to leave me a little tip for these videos, then you can do so down below. In the description box, there's a couple of links, one for PayPal, one for Cash App, and I appreciate all those little tips. Even a little dollar helps make this channel better, hopefully, for you guys. You know, share this video with anybody that you think might benefit from it. All right, guys. So thank you again for watching, and until next time, I'm 𝗙Con. I wish you happy manifesting, and tschüss.